Welcome to Victory Achieved Podcast, a video game podcast. Today we are not doing an intro because it is our 2021 year review. Guys, it's been a year.
Well, it has been a year.
It
A
has
lot's
been a
happened
year.
this year.
It has, yeah. It's almost like I've had years before, so I'm kind of used to having a year now.
It's been a very strange year, I must admit, definitely for me. Don't know about you guys, but it has definitely been a strange year. I feel like I can split it up into three sections in my life this year. Up until April to about August, and then from around August to now.
I think it's still 2020, isn't it? It's not stopped. It just keep going.
I was gonna say, I saw this post on Facebook. It was just like a picture. It said, "When you remember that 2022 sounds the same as 2022."
Yeah, yeah. I was seeing that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, as you all know, I'm Dan. I'm with Brandon and Chris, and we're just gonna this episode. We're just gonna talk about 2021. Yeah.
Where would
At
you guys
least I
like to
think that's
start
what year
about
it is.
2021?
Well, we're gonna talk about what we all enjoyed. The games, TV shows, the films, the anime, even music. If we're that crazy, who knows? But we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about what we enjoyed the most. So, is there anything guys want to start with? I was thinking maybe TV shows, but I don't mind, and save the games for last.
We can do TV shows.
Yep. I was gonna say, if we start on TV shows, I keep mine plain and simple. Because as probably many viewers know, I'm not really someone who watches normal TV. I mainly watch anime. But the
Yeah,
only
that is
TV
same.
show which I have watched, I think it's the only one I've watched this year, is Squid Game.
A great TV show.
Yeah, everyone said, oh, it's like Saw, it's like this, it's like that. Obviously, going into it, I found it quite, as someone who watches anime, obviously subbed, I find it easier to digest Squid Game in its native language, because I know there's been a lot of stick about, oh, don't watch Squid Game in like English dub because they butcher the translation stuff, which I can understand because some things do get lost in translation going from Asian to English. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I mean, there's the one character who I despise because her acting was just so over the top.
Oh,
I think but the main character and the old guy, oh my god, I love those two to bits.
we should
Like, yeah.
say right now we're gonna go probably deep in spoilers. Well, there's one thing I will not go into spoilers, but for the most part, I think most of the stuff we'll be talking about this episode will be deep in spoilers, depending on how new it is.
Yeah, so
And I
hopefully
also-
hopefully if you listen to this in 2022, you should know everything by now.
Yeah. I'd also just like to point out that when we refer to old guy in Squid Game, he is not to be confused with the character Old Boy in that film. That's the best joke I could think of.
Squid Game was definitely a great TV show. Like all my friends, our chat was just going, "Have you watched Squid Game yet? Have you watched Squid Game yet? Have you watched Squid Game?" I was like, oh, well, I think I was one of the last, but it was just crazy how like all my friends were just talking about it. Everyone was.
So
Yeah,
I think
it
they
was-
still are. The memes are still thick and fast.
Yeah, the memes
yeah.
are still going and everything.
What,
So
what else?
is
Was that it for
Sure.
you, Brandon?
What, in terms of TV shows
Yeah.
or just? Well, it's the only one I've watched. I mean, as everyone knows, The Witcher has only, as of recording, it's only came out like a few days ago, so I haven't really had a chance to watch it. But I reckon if I actually took the time to watch The Witcher season 2, I'll probably rate that as my show of the year because it's like a good ending to the year. But as of recording, I haven't watched The Witcher 2, so my only option is to go for Squid Game as my favorite TV show of the year.
Yeah, I haven't seen Witcher 2 either. All I know about the second season is it's got a bigger budget than the first season. My friend says all the costumes look better. Therefore, the
That's good.
series is better. That's it.
I liked the first season, but had a lot of problems with it. But I have also gone through all the books, so that I'm also a bit biased on that. But Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia, yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty good in
It's a
that.
good choice.
yeah. But I'm interested to see what season 2 does. Instantly, one of my friends, he finished it the day it came out, and he went, "Finish season 2 so we can talk about it." I was like, "Whoa, all right." I think for me, I would say Squid Game as well. Like, I've really
Really?
enjoyed Squid Game this year, but I don't know I was gonna say one, but I guess it's more anime. But I guess you have all the Marvel TV shows, and I think the one we still got an episode, but the one that's been my favourite actually has been Hawkeye, which I didn't think would actually be the case.
Really?
Yeah, I've been very much enjoying that. At time of recording, folks, the last episode of Hawkeye hasn't dropped yet. They're like 2 days away,
Yes.
so we don't know how it ends. So we can't ruin it for you. So don't worry.
No, won't say any spoilers just because. But it's definitely been the one that I've been the most. I think it's been the most. I felt the emotions of it more than I guess WandaVision. Well, not that WandaVision didn't have the emotions and the feels, but I think I'm more connected with Hawkeye and Black Widow, so I feel those the emotions about those characters more in Hawkeye than I did with Wanda or Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Yeah, so I again haven't watched much in regards to series. So when it comes to that, I've predominantly just watched the Marvel shows. I've watched a couple of series here and there, like obviously seen Squid Games. That were pretty good. I've pretty much enjoyed that. But really, if I was going to discuss TV shows, it would just be like listing the Marvel series in order. So if I'm going to go into worst of the year, I'll go with WandaVision. Not that it's a bad show, it's just the one I enjoyed the least. But honestly, the series I've enjoyed the most, which might be a controversial pick, is the What If series. I just found them very creative. I wanted to see where they'd go. The third episode in particular, where they sort of have a murder mystery, I really wanted to find out what happened there. Kept me hooked. Yeah, that's the one I just enjoyed the most. So, yeah, that gets my pick for the best of the year.
What If was interesting. It definitely was. I think sadly, I think it was my least favourite of the Marvel TV shows, but that's not to say it wasn't good.
And I suppose as a runner-up of the series is Falcon and Winter Soldier. Rather enjoyed that one.
That was a good
I
one.
like the dynamic that the actors have on screen. Yeah, I just found it entertaining. I just like the concept of what if Captain America, like the guy who's probably the most powerful person on the planet, like one of the most human powerful on the planet, was just a complete dickhead. This is just like evil instead of good.
No, it was a good one. I still want to watch The Wheel of Time. That's been on Amazon Prime, but just not had any time to get around to watching it.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! I just remembered something else that came out this. Was it this year? Sorry, ignore me. Did Clarkson's Farm come out this year?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm putting that on my number one. Nah, screw Squid Game. Clarkson's Farm. I just remembered. I was just thinking. I was just like, it's been a good year. What else was everyone thinking? Clarkson's Farm. I was like, yes, that's my number one. Yeah, I'm putting Clarkson's Farm as number one. Sorry, it just came to me out of just nowhere.
Bit of a tonal shift that in series.
I love
Squid Game where they're killing each other for a pot of money, whereas Clarkson's just trying to scrape together £3 to pay his farm.
So when you refer to old man, you're in fact referring to Clarkson.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Out of the blue, yeah, Clarkson's Farm, very harrowing. Makes it sound like a drama, but actually knowing everything that goes on in the British countryside and just what it takes to do farming and everything really
honest,
sort of hits home.
To be honest, knowing how farmers like how their lifestyle is, I'd probably rather go through Squid Games than have to run a fucking farm. Get up early in the morning, screw that. I'd rather die, and I will.
Won't we all one day?
Shh. Look, I'm not planning on dying until this episode's out. Right? I'm seeing the year out.
So you got 2 weeks to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've gone this far.
Go a bit further.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I thought if one thing was going to kill me this year, it would have been the charity marathon that I've just done. I literally finished it yesterday at time of recording. Yeah, that didn't kill me.
I was gonna say, on that note, who would you say was the hardest boss to deal with using shields only?
The hardest one, apart from all of them, I'm not sure. Surprisingly, though, what I can tell you is I did Pontiff and Aldridge first attempt.
Really?
Did them straight away, yeah.
That's good.
Pontiff was slightly easier because I was allowing myself to use like a couple of summons. Because come on, the damage you deal is stupid. It's worse than the broken sword. But Aldridge, I was just like, fucking hell. I surprised myself. But as the hardest, it's hard to say. I didn't really have an easy time with a lot of them.
The thing is with Pontiff, you can instantly, you like jumps towards you and instantly parry him.
Yeah, the thing is, parrying and backstabs not really a thing when you're using shields.
That is
Like you
true.
can parry him, but then what? The weapon I use for it, like mainly, which I didn't have for a fair few hours, is like the pointed shield. And all you can do with that is like a small thrust attack directly in front of you. So hitboxes are a massive problem. If it's not directly in front of you, and moving like immediately in front of you, you ain't hitting it. Yeah. I'll tell you what. To tantalize you to the end of the episode, maybe because I have to think about it. Well, I'll tell you which one is the hardest boss at the end.
Oh, really? Oh, come on, don't be a tease.
Actually, no, I do genuinely have to think about it. But yeah, there you go. There's your bait. I was fans.
So to summarize what we just said, so Dan, you stand by saying that Squid Game was the best TV series you've seen this year?
I think so. Either that or Hawkeye. It'd be one of those two because I would say something else, but I feel like it's not really a TV show. But it's not. Because I'll mention it again. I'll mention it in a bit. So I think it would be Squid Game, and I would say Hawkeye, but it's not completely finished, so it might not stick that landing. I'm hoping it does, but now it will have to be Squid Game.
Yeah, I haven't said it for exactly the same reason. It's not finished, and I can't say it's the best show when it hasn't done its final episode. It might be completely stupid or just ruin it by having a shitty ending. We don't know.
And you, it's Clarkson Farm, Brandon?
Yes. Oh god, I loved it to bits. I'm sorry, but it's one of the very few TV series ever which I have binged, and to binge a whole TV series in a week is a big deal. Anime, I can do that anytime. But when it comes to an actual TV series, it takes something to be able to do that.
It's probably a bit of a comfort watch because
It was because obviously it's just knowing what happened in the UK, and the fact that it's relevant because like it starts off normal, then all of a sudden it's that part where COVID happens. So how does Clarkson have to deal with COVID now on his farm? Yeah. Overall, I found that just really touching series.
And that's why all three of us watch a lot of YouTube because it's just easy to watch and quite comfortable.
Yeah, I say that's the biggest downside of TV series. It's harder to. It's surprisingly enough, it's harder to access a good TV show now than it is, just a quick thing on the internet. Whereas back in the days, like 20 years ago, trying to find a quick thing on the internet would have meant, oh, I need a computer, I need to hook up to the Wi-Fi, I need to do this, 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 and this. But now it's just like, oh, I've got a smartphone, I can just quickly find something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is weird.
Because I really want to watch Succession, but to watch that, I have to go on Now TV. I really don't like Now TV, but I have to subscribe to Now TV. Then I have to, if I'm watching it on my PC, I then have to download the video player, and then I can watch the TV show, and it's just so much. Because
I've just had a thought. There is one other TV show I do want to give an honourable mention to, and that is it's only 2 episodes. They're like spaced apart. They're more like specials, so it's not all in all the full series. But I just want to give a quick shout out to the South Park post-COVID specials.
Oh, I hadn't seen them yet.
Have you not seen them? They are funny. They're probably like the best material that've come out in years. So
Really?
the basic premise of like the post-COVID ones, it's like 30 years down the line, so all the kids are grown up. Like they're all
really?
adults. Yeah. But no, what they do with them is great, and yeah, I was a big fan of it. I got a lot of laughs out of it.
So where do you access it? Is it on Prime or what?
No, they are. I watched them on the.
Oh.
Size. Those ones. I mean, they were available like, on TV, but it's more for like American things. In the UK, I'm not sure exactly where you watch them. So I didn't bother.
Guess we'll. How about we move on to films, boys?
Flims. Good old Flims.
I was going to say, I could start this one off very quickly if you want me to. So, likewise, I've not really gone out and seen many films, be it in-house or actually in the cinema. But, obviously, in terms of films which I remember seeing this year, I think the one that stands out the most is Jungle Cruise.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to watch that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think the thing which stands Jungle Cruise out the most to me is just the fact that Metallica play in it. That is, oh god, like
So you're comparing it to Zombieland.
I felt a little bit moist when I was in that cinema.
Disney were like, we're gonna make this film great. Put Metallica in.
It was, even though it wasn't like the proper version of Nothing Else Matters, but it was just such a gentle version of it, and the cinematics of it. It was a fantastic cinema experience. Really was.
It was kind of like, in some ways, a fantastic choice because obviously it was the 30th. It was the 30th anniversary of the Black Album this year as well. So,
it is indeed.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is, we've not asked this. Did they not go with Guns N' Roses for Welcome to the Jungle? That would have been the obvious one.
Yeah.
I can't remember actually. The only thing I just remember is the fact that Metallica was there. That's enough to make me fanboy. But yeah, I'd say Jungle Cruise.
Also, there's a film. There's a film attached to it. Nobody noticed the film. They just brainwash you by putting Metallica on and went, "Oh, that was good," and then your brain just turned off. Like, so let's have and a half while you're thinking about the last few times you've seen Metallica live, because it was awesome. Sorry to people who don't like Metallica, but you're wrong.
Yeah, you're very wrong for not liking Metallica.
Yeah, the last time I saw him was with you, Brandon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I ever listened to Ghost as well, so that was an experience.
See, Ghost are a band that I want to like, and I've seen them live, but they really don't do anything for me.
I got really into them, and then I've fallen off them again. But then they're a band that I know, I'll just put them on and be like, "Oh yeah, I really like this band." But then I'll fall off them again.
Yeah, it's a bit like another band, Hailstorm. Not Hailstorm. Hailstorm. I like Hailstorm. Like the because in my sort of social circles, like, 'cause I hang around like a lot of the rock and metal scene, a lot of people like both Ghost and Hailstorm, but I don't. I always feel like I'm intruding sometimes. It's like I'm hanging around with these friends in town, but I don't like the same bands.
I like both, but I'm not as big on them as other artists, mainly because I think both of them are gimmicky. I think Ghost are a bit more serious to a point with their music, whereas
There's no bowling for soup.
But yeah, Ailstorm are just a gimmick, and sadly they have done the same album time and time again. But unlike other bands, Steel Panther, they've actually made good albums each time.
Don't you be dissing my Steel Panther now.
Oh,
To be fair, I've not actually listened to like the last Steel Panther album, so I don't know.
the first three are the only good ones. Everything else was, I think they should have given it up. Honest opinion.
Alright.
Sorry.
Well, I think before people start like I don't know, cursing our names, we should probably swiftly move on to films, like what we were discussing.
Yeah.
We can get back to music shortly. We can discuss like our album of the year, I guess.
Yeah. If I think I know what my top 10 is now.
Excellent.
This
Well,
is where
I haven't got time for a top 10.
I'll say this is where I quickly open up Spotify to find out what I like.
So
No, I don't use it.
yeah. So films, guys. I'll see Jungle Cruise for you, Brandon.
Yes.
Go on, Chris.
All right, so
Lay it on me.
there's a couple, like the two I've been dicing with, like the ones I've most enjoyed this year. I can't make my mind up, but I think ultimately I'm gonna go with Ghostbusters Afterlife. I know I only mentioned it on the last week's podcast, so I didn't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, my inner child fucking loved that film. I had a blast.
It was good.
Such good. All of the good. I very much enjoyed it. But the other one I was toying with, I thought, well, cinematic experience. It's got to be Shang-Chi as well.
I haven't
Really
seen that
enjoyed
yet, but I reckon, again, that's probably, a film, if I saw it, it would probably have taken the number one spot for me.
Yeah, it does
Shang-Chi
win.
is great.
It does win the best cinematic experience of the year. Obviously, cinemas have only been open for a couple of months and may close again very soon if things are going the way they are. But yeah, went there. Big, like the deluxe scene, fancy chairs, all to myself. I had a beer, I had pick and mix. I was having a blast. Yeah. So if only they played Metallica at the beginning of it, it would have been perfect. They did not. They did not. But I'll take what I can get. But yeah, those are my two picks. Yeah, but one I watched on the smaller screen, which did take me by surprise because I didn't have high hopes going into it. Just a quick shout out to the film The Tomorrow War, the one with Chris Pratt and J.K. Simmons in, because that's one I watched not expecting much, but I did have a fun time with it. We talked about that on the podcast a
Yes.
few months ago. Yeah, so again, I won't go too much into it, but yeah, I enjoyed that one. So if I had a top three, maybe, and then off the top of my head, probably be Eternals after that, because I think they're all the films I've seen at cinema. Now, we all want to. I think a lot of people will say, "Well, why the hell didn't you pick Spider-Man: No Way Home?" And that's because I haven't seen it yet. I intend to see it tomorrow. So I bet if I went to have seen that, I'd have probably gone, yeah, that one, all of that one. But at time of recording, no, can't say.
Well, I think my favourite 3 films I've seen this year, Brandon's, as soon as I mention it, Brandon's going to go, oh, fuck, yeah, that one. Demon Slayer Mugen Train.
Oh, fuck off.
It was a film.
I thought it was last year.
Well, okay. UK release was this year. Japanese was last year. So, I don't know. I don't know how you want to class that.
See, it's one of those grey lines because
Yeah.
even though it's a film, it then got adapted into an anime. So I don't know. Or I say an anime series rather than the film. Oh, Jesus. I'd probably right. This is gonna be a hot take, but I'd probably still put Jungle Cruise there. because I think main reason being, this is again a hot take, is when I went to see it in cinema, I did see it in dub.
Mm,
So that took away a little bit of the experience of there.
Yeah.
Whereas Jungle Cruise, it kept me going because obviously I didn't need to
yeah.
basically feel embarrassed about the voice acting choices.
But
yeah,
Mugen Train was the first time I went to the cinema on my own, and honestly, I'd do it again. What you're doing is watching a film. It didn't matter who was around. It was great. If if I could have gone with you, Brandon, I would have. But sadly, we couldn't. But no, so that was one of my favorite films I saw. Then I'd probably say it was Shang-Chi. That was fantastic. But number one, because I have seen it, is Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm going to say nothing more.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that No Way Home was an incredible film.
And there is no way of me knowing.
I'm not even going to say anything more.
I'm guessing it involves Spider-Man and stuff happening.
Spoilers.
Maybe in cinematic format.
Spoilers. It's a film. There, I said it.
God. I could have thought.
I spoiled it.
Spider-Man
all.
No Way Home, he's stuck in a bath and he can't get out.
Damn, how did you know?
Coming soon, Spider-Man's farm.
But props to Shang-Chi for having that random Dynasty Warriors bit. I loved it.
What?
I said this months ago.
I know, but it's just I just can't get over the fact that it's like that.
He just gets the 10 rings and just obliterates 100 people, just like in Dynasty Warriors. I was like,
I now use my Muso attack.
It was brilliant. Yes.
Well, since you're on about Mugen Train, do you want to discuss your animes?
Why not? Why
Right,
not?
let's open up my anime list. Let's just see what I've watched this year.
Oh, he's prepared. He's got his list ready.
This is a long list.
You know.
Oh, I'm gonna have a nap.
No, I was thinking worst. We were thinking of like doing worst TV shows, and then I thought, what's the worst? And I wanted to say something else, but you know what is one of the worst anime I've seen this year, and you've seen it as well, Chris. Is Resident Evil Infinite Darkness.
Now, I think that I was gonna say I think there's something which maybe tops the list of that.
Oh, that was so boring.
Yeah, it was so boring. I forgot it even existed.
I watched it because someone I knew watched it and loved it, so I was like, oh, and then I watched it and I was like, well, I'm not getting that time back.
Well, in that case, I do have a best and worst anime every year. So yeah,
Just
that's
that.
definitely worst. That was pants. Now, I have seen one I would consider the best, but I'll let you guys have the floor for a moment.
Come on,
I
Brandon.
was gonna say I've got an option for the worst one because it's popped in mind pretty much straight away.
What was that?
Possibly one of the worst ones I've seen this year is Promised Neverland Season 2.
Oh, I was about to say have I watched it, but no,
You have, haven't you?
no,
You've seen it.
I've not watched it.
Oh, okay, I was going to say because they absolutely butchered it, and it did not sit well with the community. It did not sit well with me. So I'd say probably the worst one I've seen this year got to be just the butchering of Promised Neverland Season 2. May it rest in peace.
I just remember hearing that there's a whole load of freeze frame. No, not freeze frame. Basically, the end of it is like a PowerPoint or something like that.
Yeah, it's literally a PowerPoint at the end. They're like, so this is the ending, but we're just going to fast forward in time how everything is magically okay with a series of stills. They're not showing you how they got there. They completely skipped to, I think, a massive arc to do with the princess. And it's just it's just come to an end.
Damn.
It was just an absolute mess.
Damn. Well, there you go. Never watched Promised Neverland Season 2.
Read the manga instead. Do yourself justice. It's one of the few series that you have to distinguish between the anime and the manga. because otherwise it doesn't do it justice. It's like, yeah. So that's my worst. What would you say? So did you say your worst?
No, I don't know. I'd probably say, although it's not finished, I'd probably say Platinum End right now. But if saying one that's finished, I don't know. I just had it and then it's just gone strange. There we go. I'll probably say Resident Evil, but if it's something a bit different,
Yeah, as you say, Resident
Prob-
Evil. It was that bad. I just completely forgot it existed. I can't think about things that are really bad, but yeah. If you're so unnoteworthy that you completely forget about it, you're not like so bad it's good or so bad you feel like really emotionally angry about it or anything.
I
It's
think
just like, yeah, oh yeah, that happened. Well, that failed as a form of entertainment. Really, that's his one job, and it failed.
I think the two like worst anime for me have been, but like neither of these are like rubbish. They are watchable. It's probably been Yasuke and Godzilla Singular Point. Both of them look great. That I should say that now. Like the animation is not where it lacks. It's just the story. Godzilla Singular Point just kind of is a bit It it looks great, but it's just a bit. It just meanders a bit of a boring plot. But then when it has these mecha fights, it's quite fun, but it just takes a while to get there. And then Yasuke looked fantastic, but just kind of was a bit boring.
That's a shame.
What is it with like half of the Godzilla stuff like being boring when I went on the subject? The 2014 Godzilla I watched. Why did they insist on making such a huge focal point on the humans? We're not there for that. We're there to see the giant nuclear laser lizard. That's what we want.
That's a film I forgot to mention that I saw this year. Godzilla vs Kong. That was actually a decent Godzilla film.
I haven't seen it.
You got to see. I don't know if you're going to see it. I take it you're not even bothered if I spoil the end.
Yeah, go for it. Guys, if you don't want spoilers for this film, then cover your ears for like 20 seconds. Go.
There's a bit where you have Mecha Godzilla, and you see him or it absolutely be near enough beat the shit out of Godzilla, but it's also really cool seeing Godzilla beating the shit out of King Kong as well.
That doesn't really sound like a spoiler. In King Kong versus Godzilla, I'm hoping that would actually happen. And unless they're like having a informed sit down debate around a coffee table or something.
Well, like the
like talking heads.
I was more thinking like
King Kong versus Godzilla and civilized discussion.
I was more thinking the what's it, that picture of the dogs playing poker. It's just Godzilla and King Kong.
Well, maybe that too. Playing, I don't know, Twister, or Monopoly, or Scrabble.
Okay then.
Okay, so let's say we spoke about worst. What about favorite anime of the year?
I think right now I'm leaning on Odd Taxi. That I think that was just absolutely fantastic.
Likewise, I'm leaning on a couple. I'm leaning either towards To Your Eternity
That too.
or maybe Komi.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, Komi Can't Communicate. They're the.
Oh, that yeah, I have. It's not.
I think they're the two. I think they're the two which I'm leaning on.
I think if I'd watched it, if I was watching it, I'd probably say that is probably Ranking of Kings. My friend came round last week, and she was just like, "Ranking of Kings, you have to watch it. It's amazing." She was like, "I got my boyfriend to watch it as well. Both of us are really enjoying it," and I was like, "Whoa." like you're the first person other than Brandon who's mentioning Ranking of Kings. It must be that good.
Yeah, I've still not got around to watching it. I still need to.
It's
I
now
still need to get in and
23 on
digest it.
Mal.
Really? That's jumped really high.
Yep. It's now over Mob.
I was to say the other one which I probably would have watched because I'm seeing a lot of positive reviews all of a sudden is Mushoku Tensei, their jobless reincarnation. Because a lot of people are really sort of like, because when it came out at season 1, I think it was rated an 8.2, and the second part of season 1 has just been rated 8.8. So it's like gotten stronger as it goes on, which not a lot of TV series or anything like that tends to do. So I don't know. It's something I might need to give that a go.
I'll give a runner up to Fruits Basket, the final season. That was amazing as well. To be honest,
Sorry, what was you gonna say?
Honest, Brandon, I'm surprised that you said those things. You know what? I thought your anime of the year was
What?
Nagatoro.
See, the reason why I can't put that as my anime of the year is because, yes, even though I'm emotionally and now financially invested into it, because obviously I've got 7 manga of it, the reason why I'd probably put To Your Eternity or Komi as my anime of the year. So for Komi, it's that the tackling of social anxieties, and you're actually seeing Komi now grow as a person, and the fact that she's adorable. Same, likewise with Nagatoro, but she's just overly cocky. But it seems Nagatoro is more outlandish than Komi. So Komi is more almost realistic. You know how nothing sort of ridiculous happens in it, whereas in Nagatoro you've got these three girls are just crazy personalities. So it just seems more realistic in Komi. But the reason why I probably stick to Your Eternity as maybe my anime of the year is just because you actually feel so emotionally invested into it. And when you see like the close characters die, you actually feel worked up into it, don't you? Like you'd agree with me there. Like there's not many anime where a main character dies and you actually start to feel teared up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, like when Neji or Jiraiya died in Naruto, obviously everyone was emotionally invested in those. But To Your Eternity being a more recent one, which actually have main characters dying in it, is a really nice touch. And yeah, everything in it, the whole storyline, how he's evolving and growing. Yeah, I'd probably say To Your Eternity is probably anime of the year.
Yeah.
But I'm not financially invested into it. So that's a key. Like there are some series which I could financially invest into and actually buy, manga, light novels for. But in terms of just anime on itself, rather than a media, I'll probably say To Your Eternity.
To Your Eternity was really good. The author is she wrote A Silent Voice, which is my favorite anime film. So to see that on a more to see her writing in it and similar themes on a more action orientated series, I guess it's not loads of action, but a bit more. I don't know what I don't know. I don't really know what kind of genre it is, but to see it on a more, I guess, more action anime was interesting. And like with Fruits Basket, it just finished off. The final season just finished off what began when Fruits Basket came out, when it restarted a couple years the other year, and it was great. Although it was great to see how it all ended. Although I basically guessed a lot of the ending while I was watching season 2, but that didn't take away from actually witnessing it in animation and seeing how it all occurred. It was really good. And then I think for me, Odd Taxi is my anime of the year because it's just a singular thing. you'll watch it, and you'll get to the end, and that's it. You don't need to be like, oh, is there going to be season 2? Or it's one and done. You don't need to worry about anything else after you finished it, and it just near enough sets up the whole story and finishes it with all plot lines sorted. Even like there's one bit where even like the end where you find out the murder, and it's like, whoa, but it's like, there you go, there's the last plot thread sorted. The animation is great. It's a bit weird with all the animals, but even that has a reason, and I think it's great. I think it's personally my anime of the year.
Awesome.
I told one of my friend who lives in Belgium to watch it, and he doesn't. Sometimes he does watch my anime recommendations, and when he does, he normally comes back and goes, "Fucking hell, that was a good recommendation." Yeah, the one before I told him to watch A Place Further Than the Universe, and like me, he went, "Dan, the penultimate episode, I was fucking crying so much." I'm like, mate, so was I. Oh, why do you think it's in my top 10 anime? So, for me, Odd Taxi was my anime of the year, and for you, Brandon?
To your eternity.
There you go.
I guess that leaves me then, doesn't it?
I wonder what
So,
yours is.
Well, it's hard to guess, isn't it?
Very
So,
hard.
as you probably guessed, guys, I don't watch an awful lot of anime. I don't watch an awful lot of TV either, so I'm the perfect person to appear in a podcast where we talk about anime and TV series. Mine, if I had to pick one, which I do because this is why I'm here discussing it. It'll be a bit weird otherwise. I've rolled with Castlevania because it had its last season this year. And yeah, I enjoyed all of Castlevania. I really like the character of Dracula. I like what they did with him. It's so nice to see like a proper portrayal of a threatening vampire done right. You understand his motivations, why he's pissed, but he follows through on it. He doesn't fanny around. I suppose that's just emphasised more after having to put up with shit like Twilight for so long. It's like,
Twilight.
finally, we've got a fucking vampire in his business. It's like, bollocks to that sparkly shit. I'm just gonna, decimate everywhere. And I just found it massively entertaining. I like the humour in it. I like the way it's animated. I love the score just because it's basically just the NES SNES games, but with like a proper orchestra behind them. Speaking of, I don't really listen to orchestras much, but there is a full concert of the music of Castlevania done via orchestra on YouTube, which is about an hour and a half. It's well worth a watch if you're into that kind of thing. So that's my pick. Just by proxy, because I've been watching you. It was that or nothing. Unless we count like the Resident Evil one, which is CGI. But that was boring, and I nearly forgot about it again. And it's only been like 5 minutes since we mentioned it last, and I nearly forgot it existed once more.
I think the only other animation I will give mentions to is Arcane. Arcane is the most detailed animation I've ever seen. It's kind of insane how detailed the world they've crafted and how emotional they've animated the characters when they're just feeling when they feel their feelings. I loved Arcane, and I think the only reason I wouldn't put it in my, well, it is still really high. I think I love my Japanese anime, and I felt far more for the Japanese anime I watched this year than I did Arcane, and I think maybe that's because I just binged Arcane, and the other stuff was like week by week. And I guess I say that I did kind of binge Odd Taxi, but I don't know. I just felt more for Fruits Basket and To Your Eternity and Odd Taxi more than Arcane, the characters, but Arcane is fantastic as well. And you don't need to know anything about League of Legends to enjoy it. But
So, does that mean we now move on to our favourite video games of 2021?
I think before we do,
you're nearly right.
and we've already mentioned it. I think we should quickly go about our favourite music as well. Let's not tease people for too long. They said, they mentioned Ghost and Metallica, and now we want to listen to all the music. So I know, Dan, you listen to a lot of music. Like you listen to like an album a week or
a day.
An album a day.
So as of right now, it will change by tomorrow. But as of right now, I've listened to albums that have been released this year in 2021, 659.
Jesus Christ, man.
And I have another 6 ready to go to bring the total up. Is that, 6 or 7? Might be 7. To bring the total up to 666. The number of the beast.
Here's a question though, Dad. Do you remember every single one of those albums you've listened to?
No! I do remember. A lot of them I do vaguely remember. A lot of them like, it was that. But the ones I listen to a lot are the ones I remember. So, funny enough. So, I'll start. My favourite album this year is by an artist called For Those I Love. And his album is For Those I Love. And it's just it's a progressive house spoken word album. And I don't know why, but I love it so much. I remember telling my mate who lives in Belgium the genre, and he was like, that is not you. From what I know, that is not really you. I'm like, I know, but I love it. And I think it's also the time and place when I first heard it. Still, it will always be a day. Well, yeah, it's a day I will never forget. So that is also, it will stick to the memory of this album, that day and that place. So that's my favourite album.
All right. Brandon, what about you?
Well, I was going to say, I don't really listen to like a whole album at a time, but I do, I listen to just generally what songs I like. But I'd say probably the band which has probably intrigued me the most this year is probably Eskimo Callboy. They've really, really intrigued me this year. Like with some of the new singles they've released this year, I think they've really, really stepped up the game, and it wouldn't surprise me if I soon see them, in the future once all sorts of COVID and stuff starts to die down. I can quite happily see them headlining like UK shows quite easily. Like they're doing a phenomenal job, and I'll give it like their new songs like We Got the Moves and Pump It, absolutely phenomenal songs. So I say Eskimo Callboy is probably the band of this year which has drawn like the most attention from me. It's just like party, feels good, metal, electronic vibes. It's just really nice and just different to listen to than what I usually do. See, well, it's not really different. I do like that sort of stuff in general. But yeah, Eskimo Callboy, top quality shit.
And Chris?
What about you? Yeah, Chris.
All right. So, I've got a few that I want to discuss very quickly. Let's pull the band-aid off. So I'll say my favourite album this year has been Pushed and Grim by Mastodon.
Fantastic album.
Yeah, double album, so you get your money's worth. I'm one of those people who don't have a Spotify because I like to buy physical albums. So, unlike yourself, Dan, I don't listen to all that many albums. I tend to stick to like the artists that I know and love.
Yeah.
I don't stray too far from my comfort zone. That being said, probably because I'm old. I'm old. And I don't like newfangled music. It's all wrong. Etc. But yeah, so that was my favourite one. But that only came out a couple of months ago. So before that was the case, it was, and I suppose technically I've played it more because it's just been out longer. But it would be Medicine at Midnight by Foo Fighters. I've listened to that album quite a lot. I know that one has split people somewhat because there's slightly less guitar work on it than the other offerings. But I've really enjoyed it. Like tracks like Shame, I found hard to get out my head.
Is it Waiting on a War? No. Is it...
Waiting on War is my favourite track off that album.
Waiting on War is great off that album.
Yeah. If I have one downside with Waiting for the War, it's it feels like it ends too quickly. It feels like, it's been building up and it has a good payoff, but it feels like it should have like looped once more. And I suppose if my main complaint with the song is I wish there was more of it, that's a good thing, right? So yeah, there's that one. But I want to make 2 honourable mentions, so I don't pad out too long. One of which, an album that I really enjoyed, and it's a band that's been out for a while, a French band, but I've never really given the time of day. I've never really listened to them all that much. I think what little I have didn't do anything for me. But on a whim, I checked out their latest offering, Fortitude.
Yep.
And you know what? I've got no complaints. I stuck it on, and I really dig it. I wouldn't say it's my favourite album, but it's one that's like, I think, you know what? I think I quite like this band.
Yeah.
I may have to check out that back catalogue. Mind you, I said that months ago, and I still haven't done it. But I will. Maybe. Probably. If I ever stop, playing Dark Souls, I might go and do it.
Yeah.
But one more honourable mention.
Gojira.
Although go on.
No, I don't think you actually said the band name. It was Gojira.
Gojira. Yeah, I did.
I've never really been a fan of Gojira. I just can't seem to, get with them.
So if you said like Gojira to me before this album, I was like, I don't know the songs, or I just don't recognise them. I could be out and about and it gets played and I wouldn't know it's Gojira, even though I've listened to it. But no, Fortitude, great album.
Yep.
Really liked it.
Yeah.
But, one last mention, which if I don't mention it, I'll get murdered because I think a couple of the members listen to this podcast. So, totally not sponsored or paid by the way. No, it goes to another album of the year for me, is by Internal Conflict. The album Aporia, their latest offering. Honestly, I know them are mates, and it's going to sound completely biased and skewed, but it really is a bell of an album. I've legit played it so many times.
It's great.
Traveling to work. The single they've got on there, Beat the Sky, is fantastic. I found myself singing it and whistling it when I'm at work. And I know a lot of times, when you say you're going to listen to your mate's music and you say it to be nice, don't you? Sometimes, let's be honest, we've all done it. Say, oh yeah, we'll check it out. And people do, but they might check it out and realise it's not for them. But it's hard to do with music because it's such a wide taste, isn't it? It's not saying, check out a show, and a lot of people like it. It's music's very, very subjective. But no, legit, Aporia by Internal Conflict, I've really, really enjoyed. And they're a smaller local band, and you should always support smaller local bands. Get that music scene going. Tell Pop Idol to go fuck itself and go support your local metal scene. Those guys rely on you. And hey, You can make their lives better. You can make your lives better. You can get more culturally rich just by going to your latest local rock show. Yeah. So long as they don't turn out to be like white nationalists or anything like that. Like a certain band like Ice Earth. As sadly, we found that out last year. Or was it this year? I don't know what year it is anymore. I think it's 90. Last year was 2019. What? I don't know.
What about 1983?
1983. That was the 2 years before I was born. I don't tend to like listen to stuff that I don't like. So if I go for worst album of the year, it'll be weird. I'll just point to whatever in the charts and say that's the worst thing of the year. That's worse than herpes. Don't. But one album that I haven't actually bought it, but I have listened to it. Because it was all available on YouTube, so I'll just give it a listen there. And you think, this band will be like right up my alley, and they are. But the album's done like nothing for me. And that's Senjutsu by Iron Maiden, their latest one. I found Maiden now just like have a formula that they stick to. It's like the newer stuff. A lot of it sounds the same.
I get what you mean.
It's like you can massively tell the difference between old Iron Maiden and new Iron Maiden. It's not to say it's bad; it just doesn't stand out. And the music video for Writing on the Wall, it's just Disturbed's Under Confusion video again, but with like slightly more relevant political figures. But it's not as good. It's just like yeah, but Disturbed did this video. They did it like back in like was it 2003? And it was better. It was better. So yeah, I know I might get crucified for that. And the people I say, he's like, you just badmouth Maiden. It's like, well, kind of. I mean, I know a lot of people like it, but I haven't heard people like really going on about it. Like the last album they had out, a lot of people were talking about it. So that was a double album. Loads of people were going, "Oh yeah, this new album's really good." But this one, I haven't really known anyone talk about it all that much. It's like, oh yeah, that came out.
To me,
I don't know if I'm alone in this. I think a lot of people think the same. It's like, yeah, Maiden came out. It's Maiden.
Yeah, I think it did split people. To me, I think that Senjutsu felt like the Book of Souls Part 2 in a lot of ways. To me, I thought that the Book of Souls was probably the best album Maiden had done in absolute years. I don't know why, but it just, to me, it hit on a very different level than anything they released since the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, like the Final Frontier. Was that one before?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that one didn't do an awful lot for me. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
It didn't do a lot for me. But yeah, Book of Souls, that was great. Really enjoyed that one. Especially the track, the Red on the Black.
That is probably
that's
favorite.
A standout one.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's like 8 minutes long, but it's kind of in parts.
Yeah.
That's how it's one of those songs that feels like in parts. And it's like, as I say, like Maiden sort of have a formula, but that really breaks from it. It's like this is standout. It's like when you have albums and sometimes you put them on in the background like new albums and you're not paying like full attention, but occasionally you just like perk up and go, hang on, this is really bloody good. I had that with Red and Black. So yeah, but as I say, the new Senjutsu one, it's just like background noise at this point.
Well,
so yeah.
See, I do listen to a lot, and I'm planning to do a top 50 albums of the year on my Instagram. So if people are interested, they can see what I like the most. I don't know when it will be out. I don't know if it will be out before this podcast or after. Well, it'll be out definitely afterwards at some point, but I don't know if I'll release it before this or not. So you'll find out. But on my Instagram, I'll be putting that up with my top 50. I know what my top 10 is now, I think, but it's just working out everything else because I like a lot of albums this year. I think the Maiden one will be in my top 50, but it will be in the bottom half, for sure. But there's been a lot of good albums this year from a wide array of genres. Like I said, my favourite album this year is basically spoken word progressive house music, which I didn't think would be my favourite album. But in my top 50, I've got grime, I've got hip hop, I've got metal, I've got like kind of indie rock, I've got post hardcore, I've got folk. So yeah.
Oh yeah, how do you decide what album you're going to listen to on a day? Like, say for example, 3 albums were released on the same day, like from a whole wide variety of genres. Like, how do you choose which one to listen to? Or is it just any album ever released that you choose?
If it's so normally, when the albums come out on a Friday, I pick the artists I know first, and then move on from there. So like for those I love, I knew nothing. That was just a random album I added, and it's my album of the year.
Oh,
I knew nothing. I half these albums, I don't even know what genre they are. I'll look at them, and I'll think, I bet it's this genre, and then I'll put it on, and it's like no. So an album that I really enjoyed this year is called Ultra Pop by The Armed, and I remember putting that on, and I was like, I bet it's going to be like some really charty poppy album. It starts up, and it's this really heavy punky beat, and I'm like, wait, what is going on here? I did not expect this. So yeah, that's a really good album, for like a hardcore punk, post-hardcore-y. There's like I can't remember which song, but there's one where it has like a really metally riff, and I was like, whoa, I did not expect this when I put this album on, and I had put off listening to this album for months, and then I finally put it on, and I was like, whoa. But yeah,
Isn't it nice when you take a chance on an album, especially if it's a band you know like nothing about or very little, and it blows your socks off? I mean, I had that in recent memory, like the last ones I like remember buying on a whim without knowing anything about them was I bought like a few years, well, I think about a decade now, but got it for my Valentine's album. One with like Eye of the I can't think of an album.
Screaming Fire.
Screaming Fire, that's the one. Yeah, bought that completely on a whim. Didn't know anything about it, but it was in Sainsbury's of all places, and I thought, this is a metal band. What's this doing in Sainsbury's? The fuck? Well, I thought, you know what, screw it. I'll give it a whirl, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I know I've mentioned Mastodon, Dadhurst and Grim. But again, I was late getting into them. I only got into them like 2014. I bought their album at the time. Was it Empire of the Sun? On a complete whim.
Once More Around the Sun.
Once More Around the Sun. That's it. Empire of the Sun. That's the one I'm thinking of. Sorry, yeah. But once More Around the Sun. I bought that on a whim, not knowing much about Mastodon, and I love that album.
Mastodon for me are a band that every album I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good listen. Like, near enough every album. No, not near enough. Every album is great.
I found that recently.
For me, Crack the Sky is my personal favourite, but you can't go wrong with any of them, to be honest. I'd say Leviathan and Crack the Sky and The Hunter are probably my favourite 3. But you can't go wrong.
Yeah, because I didn't know an awful lot about them, so I bought Once More Around the Sun, and then I went through like their back catalogues, like I keep meaning to do with Gojira. I actually did it this time. And I was like, you know what, this is really good. So like every time they've released a new one, I've been like highly anticipating them, and I haven't been disappointed. You know, I become like a fan quick because I made Show Yourself a ringtone.
So
That's not really good sign.
on the album Crack the Sky, the last song is called The Last Baron. And the last time I saw Mastodon, they started their show off with that song. And The Last Baron is a 13 or 15 minute song. And I was like, it probably was at the time my favourite song by them. And I was just like, this is the weirdest thing to come to a Mastodon show and see them open their show up with this song. This song does not feel like an opener. I'm really happy they're playing this song, but it feels really weird to see them open their show up with this song. It's just one of those songs where it's like, what? What? I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm not complaining, but I'm also questioning it at the same time. So.
Awesome, yeah. So I suppose if I'm going to break it down further, top 3 tracks of the year.
Oh.
Because obviously they're going to be on the same album, so I might as well quickly mention. I could just pick 3 tracks from this year. It would be Tear Drinker by Mastodon, Waiting on a War by Foo Fighters, and Read the Sky by Internal Conflict.
Brandon,
that's my year.
Yeah, Brandon, have you got any?
I said, I'd say it's just these Eskimo Callboy songs that have been released this year. I mean, I quite like the Bullet for My Valentine album that came out this year. I wouldn't say it's a total banger of an album per se.
Is it any good? Because I know like the last album they put out was pretty much hated.
Yeah, I mean the new album has a couple songs in it which are quite nice. They're definitely heavier in the new album, but I wouldn't say it's a total banger. But I reckon like Eskimo Callboy, all the singles they've been releasing, if that was in an album, that would be a banger of an album. It really, really would. So I'd probably stand by and say whatever Eskimo Callboys released this year, top notch for me.
Nice.
I don't know. Mine's a bit mixed. I guess probably my most played song from this year, that's been released this year, is Pink Blood by can I pronounce the name? Hiroku Utada, which is also the theme song to Your Eternity. That's probably been my most played song release in this year. But other than that, I really like Afterlife and Celebration Song by Holding Absence. Celebration Song really, really hits me. The lyrics, I can see myself in those lyrics. But then also Die For You by Bring Me Horizon. That's great. Anything from the For Those I Love album, any of those songs. Meteor by Architects. There's a whole load of stuff. So,
awesome.
How about we talk about some games finally, guys?
Games?
I thought
games on this channel.
But I thought just before we talk about 2021 games, we could talk about our favourite old games we played this year. Ones that we kept coming back to despite all the new game goodness we saw. I know there's one in particular you played for 24 hours, Chris, that kept you coming back. But
which I may or may not be playing right now still. There's one boss I want to beat. Yeah, well, I was going to say Dark Souls 3, but you know what? I don't want to talk too much about Dark Souls 3 because, come on, it's Victory Achieved podcast. We all know we all fucking love Souls and will continue to come back to. But if we're going to talk about games that we keep coming back to, especially this year, I mean, I've played through live twice on stream Dead Space 1 and 2. God damn, I love those games. I can play them again and again. I can't play 1 and not play 2 immediately after. It's got to be done.
I think for me, Fire Emblem Three Houses will always be one of my favourite games of all time, and doing the third playthrough this year. I wanted to do a fourth, but I let it sit for months, so that I've only just started the fourth playthrough now. But the third playthrough for me was probably probably my second favourite playthrough of the game, and I thought it had the most complete to a point story of like the main storyline, and actually experience the other house I basically knew nothing of, and to see how fantastic that storyline was great. I'm looking forward to actually doing the final playthrough next year, but I played over 100 hours. I think my Nintendo review came the other day, and it said I played 144 hours of Fire Emblem Three Houses. So, not much.
Not much.
I guess RuneScape got back into that, boys.
Yeah, I'd probably say the surprising old game which has made a comeback is RuneScape. Like I said, I played it now as we do the podcast.
Spoilers, guys.
Yeah, I've really, really been enjoying it. It's been so nice to come back to a game.
RuneScape, though, I don't recognise the name RuneScape. I don't think we've ever discussed it before in this podcast. Just like we've never discussed Skyward Sword. That's never been raised. No.
But well, I think all of us. Well, maybe not me, but definitely you two have both played a lot of Pokemon this year, like Pokemon Red and Gen 1.
Yeah, it's mainly it's like stream content. It's I've always played Pokemon Yellow, so actually playing like the different variants of that generation game was a bit weird. Like I've been so used to certain gym leaders having certain teams, but then I face it. Like when I fought Koga, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this level 50 Venomoth, and all of a sudden I'm greeted by like Grimer and everything. I'm like, you what? So yeah, that was really interesting, especially because it effectively turned into a blind Nuzlocke, which was a really nice touch.
I'll tell you what I've been playing. It is Pokemon, but like not like the mainline ones, but it's a real good one to stream. It's I've been playing the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy. I'm currently playing through the second one that was only released in Japan. Here comes Team Rocket, and I tell you what, they're fantastic to stream. It's really easy to narrate because you basically just give a running commentary on what's happening. The script basically just writes itself. You literally just say, "Oh, now this is happening. I'm going to do this." It's a piece of piss, but it's also fun to play. Okay, because there's a lot of coin flips and that, so it does get exciting when people are watching because you don't know how it's going to go down. You think, "Oh, come on, head. Come on, give me a head." I didn't get a head. Fuck. Now what do I do? Keeps you on your toes. Okay. Yeah, that's fun to play. I highly recommend that to anyone who's thinking of streaming as a good starter game. It's dead easy to get up and running. It's not like it's graphically intensive or anything.
I think the other one for me, other than Three Houses, was Call of Duty Cold War. The amount of zombies I played on that is ridiculous. It became a game I'd listen to music or put some YouTube on, or even some Netflix, and just kill zombies while I was watching or listening to your stuff. It was really fun. I'd waste so many hours and have an absolute blast. And yeah, I'm just very good at Call of Duty Zombies, and I had a lot of fun.
Sweet. All right then, Brandon, is there anything else you've played besides RuneScape and Pokemans?
I've been replaying Terraria a hell of a lot. So
Terraria, but
yeah.
but that's not Subnautica Below Zero.
No, because Subnautica came out this year, so we'll save that for the next question. But yeah,
Spoilers.
yeah,
Ignore that bit.
Yeah, so I've been replaying Terraria a hell of a lot. It's just so nice playing an open world sandbox game. Well, I say it's open world. Well, it is open world, but finite generation. And just all the different, like, the world building aspects to it, like what you can create, all the different bosses in it, the different, like, classes, maybe a medium range magic summoner. It's just one of those games that you can rarely get bored of it. It's a challenging game, but it's a real pleasant game to play. What other games have I played this year? Oh gosh, replayed the original Subnautica this year because obviously Below Zero came out. Been playing a hell of a lot of Genshin this year again as well, even though that only came out last year.
Yeah,
there
it
is-
keeps having massive
say-
update patches, doesn't it?
There's one game which I played for the very, very first time yesterday, and that's The Binding of Isaac.
Oh,
I've
really? I've
never-
not played that before.
I've never played Binding of Isaac, and I played it for the first time yesterday.
I've played that a few times on and off over the years, but never like to like a massive amount because I know there's tons to unlock in the game.
Yeah,
that's,
I did
like,
not expect
roguelike.
that. When I did my first playthrough, so the first boss I encountered was Monstro. So I got through, beat Monstro, started to learn about all these different power-ups. And then, yeah, I'm really surprised at how fun it was. I played it for a whole 5 hours flat on stream, and it was... I mean, yeah, I died a hell of a lot in it. It was very, very challenging, but it was a really, really nice play. Like, even though... Like, the one gripe I probably have with it is that it's not very descriptive with what some of the items do. You just got to figure it out.
I'm not sure if I like that or not because it's like, oh, you got a power up, but it doesn't really tell you what it does. So you're like, is that good or bad? Did I just fuck up?
Yeah, so like one of the power-ups I picked up in the, I think it was in the demon shop, like the sell your soul to the devil, was the 9 lives power-up. So effectively, if I die, I can respawn 9 times to, try and get through the dungeon. But it only respawns you with 1 heart, and if you die again, it teleports you out of the room you died. So I got to a boss fight. I was against is it either Dingle? Yeah, I think it was Dingle. No, it was Fatty, yes. And I just kept dying, and then every time I die, I get the boss down to half HP. I die, it teleports me out the room. Go back into the boss room, boss is max health again. I get it down to half HP. I die, I'm back out, come back in, boss full health again. I was like, oh, for goodness sake. Like, it was really like, it's effectively like pounding you down to a dust, forming you back up into like a ball, and then pounding you back down into dust again. It was relentless. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I can't believe it's taken me so long to be able to play it. So that was a really nice. Well, I'd say blast from the past, but it's not. It's a game which I've not even seen any gameplay of it. I just went into it completely blind. I did not know what to expect. Like I was definitely not expecting like all the poo jokes in it and all the nightmares in it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's got a sense of humour, but some of the stuff is actually sort of nightmarish.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a really, really good play.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Very, very quick recommendation because it's like in a very similar vein. Except it instead of top down, it's a platformer. But if you like Binding of Isaac, give Rogue Legacy a whirl. That's very similar sort of gameplay mechanics, similar sort of art style as well. I rather enjoyed that game. Yeah. The thing is, when it comes to like roguelikes, when it says it's like randomized stuff or stuff like that, differently generated worlds, I find it's a huge double-edged sword. It depends on how much effort the developer puts into it. Because half the time, if I read like randomly generated, it means we couldn't be asked to design levels. So a lot of them can be pretty shitty, especially like the early days, like early days of that sort of type of genre. Like on like PS2, there's like a couple of games that like boast, oh, they're like randomly generated. Yeah, but you got like they've got like 3 different room designs. They've got like, oh, we've got this square room. So we've got the L-shaped room, we've got the corridor, and that's it. But technically, we've got infinite levels. So yay. I'd much rather have like a solidly designed world, like a little series called Dark Souls. That's got very good world design. I imagine that. But if you want to play a game that's like Dark Souls, but it feels like it's randomly generated, play Dark Souls 2. What's that? The Earthen Peak goes into a fiery construct in the sky, even though there was nothing there before.
Yeah, I was going to say like the world generation in Dark Souls 2 was a bit weird.
Yeah, so don't mind it because it like keeps you on your toes. If you've not played it, you don't know what's coming next. So
I'll say even now playing it, I'm just like, how the hell do I get this to this next area? I don't know. And then all of a sudden, oh, I'm in a lava area, even though I just came out of a murky forest.
Yeah, so I think instead of discussing our games of the year, I think we should end on that. As a sort of dessert, we should instead discuss our least favorite games of the years, and then, as I say, as a reward for slogging through that, we can have the best of. And I think that'll be a good way to end the year.
Yeah.
So, worst game of the year.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to open that can of worms?
So I don't think I've necessarily played a bad game. Because usually, when it comes to games, I do a little bit of research into it before I actually invest into it.
I mentioned on a podcast.
Yes, okay. Screw what I just said. Either Godfall or Returnal. That was a disappointment.
Yeah, you mentioned Returnal a couple of. Is it last podcast or the one before?
One before.
Yeah. So there you go. The reason why I didn't register it as something I invested in is because I didn't technically buy it because it came with the PlayStation. But yeah, Returnal was disappointment. The concept of it was really, really cool. The art was really, really cool. The gameplay was cool. But my God, what a shambles of an ending. I really did not like the way they ended that.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because I suppose what you say, like the gameplay of it is actually good. So gameplay-wise, it isn't a bad game.
No.
Yeah, it's just what they. Yeah, so the story aspect that comes with the game. So if you've got like games which have basically is like nonsensical story, like Serious Sam, like you're just there for just playing and shooting things. Whereas in Returnal, there is an actual story and a mystery element to it. Like you're wondering, what is this astronaut? Why does this astronaut follow me around? Why do I keep reincarnating every time I die? Why does the world shift every time I die? But it's just the ending, the explanation of it. Oh, it's just a dream. I'm like, fuck off. Like, come on, you can't just do that like memeified ending to a game. It does not sit well with me.
That's terrible.
It does not sit well
went
with me.
With that. They really went with that. It's all a dream.
Basically, yeah. Effectively, they just had a car crash in the water, and that's how the whole concept of it is. It's just
that's bullshit.
It is.
You know what that reminds me of? There was a joke. I've seen a video like discussing the series like randomly. It sounds like a weird tangent, but in Family Guy, I think it's season 6. They had a 2-parters. Stewie killed Lois, and then Lois killed Stewie. Yeah. And at the end of it, like, how are they going to get out of this one? It turns out like Stewie's in like a VR machine, and him and Brian are going, oh, so you mean we're doing like, it's all a dream? And he's like, oh no, because it's VR, so it's different. So it's just like, no, it ain't. No, it's VR. It's not a dream at all. It's like, oh, it feels like that. It's like a total cop out.
So for me, I'd say Returnal is either the worst or Godfall. Purely because Godfall, the art of Godfall is incredible. Like, it's such an attractive looking game. Like, you've played a little bit of it, haven't you, Chris?
Yes, because it came out on PlayStation Plus, so I downloaded it.
Yeah, so you can see, like, the art of it is incredible, isn't it?
It looks fine. I'll probably say it looks a bit too busy, to be honest. It's like a lot of like ornaments and like stuff in the things.
It is very, very busy, very, very bright, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah, but I'd say the busyness is actually a downside. it's like there's just too much stuff everywhere.
But the reason why I'd say Godfall is not great is because even though they make it out like, oh, you can design your character, you can do this, you can do that, you can customize it, you don't. Like, you've got you've only got a few weapon classes. Like you got 4. You've got, the armor classes, but they have their own special abilities, but it's negligible in the grand scheme of things. So it doesn't really give you the customization. And even when in terms of customization, the only thing you can do is just change what color you are. Like you can't add any of these extra aesthetics onto it. It's really, I mean, the voice acting changes like with your different armors is nice, but the actual combat gets repetitive very, very fast. Like it doesn't differ as you advance.
Yeah, I found that
The
within
story
like
of
the
it
first
is
hour.
a bit bland. Like it's just, you're just trying to reclaim and become part of the gods.
Yeah,
But
I felt no attachment.
yeah,
Um,
it really
but
didn't.
when
Yeah.
I seen like the equipment screen, it looks like it's been ripped straight out of a sort of free-to-play mobile game. It's like, oh, I've seen this type of menu system before. I don't like where this is going. It looks like really, really uninspired. But what what I didn't like is the version you download now. It automatically adds a patch, so you do the tutorial, and you automatically level up to level 50. Like you don't have a say in that. It's like yeah, you just do. You just go from like level 1 straight to 50. It's like oh,
They've done it so you actually don't play the game. You go straight to the DLC.
yeah. So what the developers are saying, our game's just not worth playing. Just don't bother. So there you go. We thought our game was so mediocre. We just thought we'd save you time. Sorry, voice is going tonight. I think I may have been talking too much the last few days.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's my worst game of the year. Purely because I didn't pay for it. Just so like with Game Pass, it's like if a game comes out and I play it, but I haven't actually bought it, it's just there. I feel like no sense of loss. It's like oh, I downloaded it. It was bad, but I'm no worse off. Give it a try, it weren't for me. Moving on. So if I have to give one shout out for worst game of the year, because I played it for a bit and I had some expectations for it and they just weren't met. It would be Back for Blood. It's bad because I was playing it and I was playing it live with my Twitch chat. And even when I was playing it, I had the thought in my head that was simply, I'm not having fun. This isn't Left 4 Dead. I was like, I just wish I was playing that. So, yeah, I think that's pretty bad. If when you're playing something, you just wish you were playing something else,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just not having fun.
Yeah.
You're not frustrated. You're just like slogging along, and you're just like, oh god. Like I love doing my streaming. That one, I just felt like, oh, I just want to stop. Can I just turn it off and put something else on there? I've had enough. And that was only after like a couple of hours. So, yeah, I think for that reason alone, it's got to be Back for Blood for me.
Wow.
Well,
Dan.
I wouldn't say like my worst game. I did have a lot of enjoyment, but I've not picked it up in months, which and I kind of have no desire anymore to play it again, which kind of says it all. But it, like the first month, I would say I had a lot of fun, but now I'm like, nah, I can't be asked. And that's Pokemon Unite. So,
Oh yeah, you did mention
Oh.
your gripe with it.
Oh yeah, well I've seen people moaning about this last time. So when you
yeah.
first mentioned it, you were praising it. I was like, really? There, you're enjoying that? But it's predatory.
I think if I picked up, I'll still really enjoy it, but the fact that I've not picked up in months. But when I was playing it, I had a lot of fun, and you can't take away that fun. It was good, but yeah, I have not picked it up in months, which kind of says it all.
Yeah. Sorry, that just seems like such a U-turn because I remember you talking about it quite passionately, and I felt like we had a bit of a back and forth discussion. Like I hated it,
Yeah, yeah.
but you were defending it, and now this seems like a complete 180.
Yeah.
That's out of the blue.
Well, there you go.
Um,
Things.
So I
change.
just want to go on record and say, I was right. It's crap.
End of the podcast.
End of series.
No. I think there is some positives to it, but it's just, I think I've just got very busy with many other things and many other games I wanted to play, so that's just what it is, really.
Alright, guys, just on the record, we've slagged some games off, but if you get fun out of games, then that's great. If you find pleasure in things that we can't, then more power to you.
Oh yeah.
Just don't give money to Ubisoft, Activision, or EA, or Konami. I mean, just fuck those guys. And David Cage too. He can piss off. They're wankers.
You've got
Don't
a
score
lot of a lot of hate built up. Is there something you want to talk about?
No, just that in general. It's constantly going on. I'll tell you what. If you want another good list, if you watch on YouTube, James Stephanie Sterling's video, he did his list, or as he phrased it, the games I hated the least. Yeah. Games I had the least gripes with. Yeah.
I think if I'd say afterwards, it would probably be maybe, I don't know, maybe Call of Duty Vanguard or Islanders, but I do actually enjoy both of these games. I just haven't picked them up in a little while, but I do enjoy them. I just personally don't think Vanguard is as good as Cold War. I think all my friends would disagree, but I personally think Cold War is far better than Vanguard. I think Cold War feels better than Vanguard. Vanguard's very laggy, and I just think Cold War was far more fluent than Vanguard. But I do enjoy Vanguard. I'm looking forward to playing more of Vanguard, but I personally think Cold War is better. I think the zombies is better, the multiplayer is better. Yeah. And then Islanders, I really enjoyed Islanders, but there's just been other things I've been playing and I haven't picked it up in a while. But Islanders was a really fun game to have on my Switch and just have a relaxing time, sit in bed, play it, and just listen to the lo-fi music on it, and just relax and enjoy it.
I suppose if we can say one positive about this negative game section, is there hasn't been a game that we've thought all three of us have just been like, oh fuck this game, it's like the worst thing ever. Like we can unanimously.
Although we have been close, like most of the time it's been two of us criping on the game, like when I mentioned Godfall and Returnal, and then you. I mean, we can unanimously say that FIFA's shit anyway.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there we go then.
We don't even need to play that.
Oh yeah.
You know
No,
that.
I don't even. It's the same fucking game again. They've rebadged it, you fool. Coming to a bargain bin near you in about a week.
So, what about you guys?
Hey guys. Well, I'm not a game, so I don't like to be played.
I do.
Well, there you go, guys. Brandon,
I'm the best gamer 2021.
if you want to believe that, then you're entitled to your opinion.
I'll be one of those games you find in CEX for 50p.
So Brandon confirmed he is the next FIFA.
I'm the next iToy. You see that everywhere.
Hold on, does that suggest you're fun of microtransactions?
Well, I mean, it'll pay my way.
Brandon's free to play. That's what he's saying. If you want to delve deeper into Brandon, you've got to pay. Well, we all pay in the end, don't we? Just psychologically and emotionally.
Right, bit of a hot take, but I completely forgot what we were just talking about.
I think we're going to talk about best games now. I think we've had a worse ones. So, shall we do a little drum roll and face on? For the bit I suppose everyone's been waiting for. The best games of the year.
Unless there's any
Best
other
games of
games,
the year.
any other games you guys want to mention before?
I think I mentioned
Uh,
everything so far that I think I'm up to date and everything I've played.
Probably briefly, well done for Demon Souls remake. I wish it brought a bit more to the table, but I had a blast with that. So
That was a solid. That was a really nice play of
Yeah.
the year. Very, very good.
yeah, I'd stick that middle of the road of the year. It's not a new game, but it kind of is. But I enjoyed it.
I would
Completely
say
forgot about
I would say remakes and HDs are technically new games, but they are. You can't just be like, "Oh, my favorite game is this." Well, it's like technically it's a game that came out all those years ago, but it is different to say it's different to a point to say it is a new game, but it also isn't in the same breath. That's my own personal thoughts.
I did want to, but unfortunately, Oculus didn't send me their Quest 2. But I did want to try Resident Evil 4 for VR.
Yeah.
I wish I got to play that.
I think for me, honourable mentions would be Near Replicant and Skyward Sword. As we know, took me a long time to beat Skyward Sword, and Near Replicant was great to finally play that. So, yeah.
Hooray!
I'm trying to think what other games I've played this year.
Did play
Below
Ratchet
Zero.
and Clank. That was.
Wait, you played
that's
Resident
alright.
Evil 8?
Oh yeah, my first installment to Resident Evil. How could I forget about that? That was a good experience.
Spoilers for the next section.
Yeah. So I guess best games, guys. Start off.
Drum
with
roll,
you.
please.
Start off with you,
Does anyone have a drum machine?
So-
not anymore.
My favorite game released in 2021 is none other than Subnautica Below Zero.
Down could not have guessed that.
That's such a shock.
For the simple reason being, it kept going with the Subnautica series, even though I'd say it's not as strong story wise as the original Subnautica. The amount of customization and creativity you've got with the world building is fantastic. The world is incredibly pretty, and unfortunately, Elden Ring didn't come out this year as we all hoped. So unfortunately, that's not been able to make the list. But
Yeah, I think we can pretty much guess spoilers for Game of the Year next year. That's going to be a very short episode.
unless something like really drastic happens, we're like, hang on a minute, Chotomate, something's happened. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna say Subnautica for music, sound design, world designs, and story. So Subnautica Below Zero for me.
Chris,
Dan, I was going to say, you want to go first? Because I think mine's fucking obvious.
what Resident Evil 8?
Oh, fine, I'll go with mine. Resident Evil 8, yeah, of course it is. I've played through it 7 times already.
Fucking hell.
I just have fun with it. It's a fun game. It's a game that came out that's single player, and it hasn't been ruined. It's just good. It's all of the good. It's a full game. You just bought it on the day of release, and it was all there. There's no fucking download patches or anything like, oh, extra content comes soon. No, it's just there, and it was good, and I enjoyed it, and I liked it, and I play it again, and I want to play it now. Why am I playing it now? I should be playing it now. Yeah, fucking love Resi 8. Buy Resi 8. There you go.
You enjoyed it as well, Brandon.
Yeah, considering it's my first ever installment to the Resident Evil series, I didn't really know what to expect. But
Also-
I liked the exploration. I liked the shooting. I think at one point I did feel like I've got an awful lot of money, but not a lot of money I can spend. I did get that at a few points, but I mean the characters in it were great. I do feel like that we spent a lot of time in Lady Dimitrescu's castle compared to the other villains.
Not if you're speedrunning it.
Oh yeah.
I feel if I keep saying that Resident Evil 8 was fantastic, Capcom will send me Resident Evil VR for free. We can but hope. No, legit. Resident Evil 8.
I was
There's
gonna-
nothing I dislike about it. I had a blast with it. It's really good. Please play it.
I was
Please
gonna
play
say,
it, and please play it, and maybe they'll make another one.
when you mentioned about Resident Evil VR, it just made me think, God, I'd shit myself if Subnautica VR, if I had it. Like, imagine like being underwater and just hearing like all these noises underwater. Oh my God, no, screw that. No, that's a bad idea.
Well, if you're on a budget and want to play Subnautica VR, just stand closer to your television. Go on then, Dan.
Metroid Dread.
How would we have guessed that?
I wondered why it hadn't been been brought up this entire episode so far.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I really like Metroid. It made me. The other week I was watching a whole load of YouTube videos all about Metroid, and I went back to Metroid Dread, and I was like, just played a whole load more, and like I really enjoy that game. I love all the. I would like to say they're not really new to Metroidvania games, but new to Metroid, the new power-ups, and just giving Samus different moves, and like working out how to go through sections and areas differently, and evading enemies, and like the Emmys and stuff like that. I really enjoy Metroid Dread. It's fast, it's punchy, it looks fantastic. It's Metroid, and that's why it's my game of the year. Just
Plus, as you so eloquently put it on the few episodes ago, it's got everyone's favourite boss in it, Craig,
yeah, Craig,
which I'm still been laughing about.
Craig.
Yeah, or Craig. No, we prefer Craig. Right, Craig. Hello.
Never gonna let that down. Hey, Dan,
No.
look, it's Craig. Fuck you.
Oh, what's that, Craig? You bought lasagna and an egg. So there you go, guys. So Metroid Dread, Subnautica, and Resident Evil 8 win the crowns of the least shit things that have come out this year.
I'm getting a Brilliant Diamond for Christmas, so I'll be playing that over the Christmas break, and I will be pre-ordering the new Pokemon game coming out in January next month.
Which, again, I'm pissed off with, because as usual, my birthday is in early January, and all the games come out at the fucking end of January. So I can't even get them. Again. Every fucking year.
Just not allowed it, mate.
No. I mean, that's why when they said they're going to delay Elden Ring, I was like, well, I don't care that you've delayed it by like a month, because I wasn't going to get it anyway. Well.
But yeah, it's been a hell of a year.
It is. Well, yeah, I must say, this year, 2020, has been very rough on all of us.
2021.
Yeah, that was the joke, Brandon.
Hi. I thought he did it on purpose.
Like
you know that bit of Rainier Castle from The Simpsons? That's the joke.
It's like we start off the podcast with the joke, and then Brandon's like, but it's actually 2021. It's like, but he's coming back to the joke we started off the episode with.
I know.
You can't see it because it's only audio, but I am doing the playing over the head gesture.
Jumping the shark. No, it's been a great. I don't want to say first season, but it's been a great first year talking with you guys every other week. It's been great.
Yeah. Yes, we've had a year. We can certainly all agree. We thought me and Brandon were gonna die. We didn't. We pulled through just to get these episodes out, give us a reason to live, which is nice. So yeah, so guys, what can everyone look forward to in the next year apart from Elden Ring? Are we going to tantalize people with stuff we're going to discuss next year?
Well,
We're going to talk about Elden Ring next year.
gonna be talking about
I don't
Pokemon
actually
Go.
know what other stuff is coming out next year. The only thing I'm excited for is the Attack on Titan finale and Elden Ring. I can't think of anything else next year which is gonna rub me in the right way.
Well, got Pokemon Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'll be playing that. I'll see Elden Ring, that as well, both of them. I'm sure there'll be an array of games that none of us know that they exist, and they'll just pop out of existence, and we'll be like, "Oh, tasty."
Hmm.
Yep. We've got all the new Marvel series coming out.
Yeah, we do.
She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and that.
Moon Knight. Looking forward to that.
Mm.
Marvel films.
See, these will be cool for me because I know who like Miss Marvel is, but I don't really know much about the other characters, so it'll be fun to see where these go.
Like, I'm sure there'll be other films that none of us know, other TV shows. Obviously, the book of Boba Fett comes out end of the year, just like last couple of days. So I'm sure we'll be, well, definitely Chris and I will. I'm sure we'll be speaking about that soon, sooner than you think.
Yeah, something else we might discuss because I know somebody's asked about it on our Facebook page, but none of us have had a chance to see it.
Ah, yes.
But I'm pretty sure we'll discuss the Welcome to Raccoon City Resident Evil film. Maybe in the next podcast. It depends if we get around to it or not. If not, probably definitely the one after. I do want to go see it.
But yeah, who knows what 2022 will bring.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, same. So you can look forward to more jokes on here about things and stuff that might be relevant. Maybe we'll make more jokes about lasagnas and eggs. Maybe. We don't want to milk it too much, but you know what? Milk is a very good ingredient to make pasta, which in turn can make lasagna. I'm sure that could have gone somewhere as a joke, but it failed miserably.
Honestly, what the hell are you on about?
This is what happens on my streams. I just talk when I'm doing stuff and think, what the fuck am I on about? you know when you're just chatting and you suddenly become self-aware. It's like, what are you talking about, me? I ain't got a fucking clue. If anyone knows, write it down on a postcard and send it to them.
It's like that Mitch and Webb sketch. Not where it's like, are we the baddies? But instead of that, it's like, am I weird?
Yeah. Am I being funny? Yes. Yeah, I suppose then, since it's end of year, this will be the last one of the year, I just want to go out and say thank you, everyone, for listening to us waffle on about stuff we enjoy and stuff we don't. Pubsy 3D. Yeah, it's been real fun doing this, and we have no plans to slow down release schedules at all. We will keep coming thick and fast every other Monday on your face. We will be coming hard.
Jesus Christ.
Calm down. I know it's Brandon's birthday soon, but still.
My birthday soon too. In fact, it'll be both our birthdays if things go right. Wait, what?
Oh, it's Brandon's.
Hey, happy
this
birthday.
week.
I'll give you a good time.
Brandon's this week.
Yeah, mine's on
Spoilers.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
It is? I had no idea.
Either did I until Dan just reminded me.
He's like, I don't
When you
wanna-
had a birthday.
I don't want to think
You
about
don't know when
being
your own birthday
27.
is?
I just spawned.
Oh, dear.
Begone, evil spawn. Spawn of darkness.
Nah, I was one of those bursts where I spawned. There's probably a spawn camper just ready to take me out.
Nah, I want to say thank you for everyone who's listened this year. And as Chris said, we're not going to slow down. We're going to keep going it every other week and keep
And who
pushing
knows?
them out.
We might have the occasional special get released next year. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
ones that should have come out this year, but hasn't.
Yeah.
Nah. Who knows?
Yes.
We don't know about guests. Who knows? We might have guests on. Probably not. Who knows?
We'll just have to stay tuned to find out when.
Yeah, yeah.
As ever, guys, if there is something you want us to discuss, any topics, films, anime, whatever it is, then yeah, please let us know. Go to our Facebook, let us know. Link below. Link below next to Dan's top 50 albums of the year, probably. Which should also be next to Brandon's and mine's Twitch page as well. Should you want to say hi to us in person and say, "Oi, you know what? Your fucking podcast is amazing." Oh, it's a bit crap, but you shouldn't say that. That's just rude. You can say my stream's crap. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Your stream's
Podcast,
crap.
come on. Oh, fuck you. Right, seems over. Cancel. Right. Yeah, no, not really. Not really. I could do that. I could do that.
Your stream's amazing, Chris.
Thanks. Yours is alright too, man.
Hey, this is alright.
It wasn't even him talking.
Yeah, we're not going to fall out anytime soon.
Well,
No, if we're gonna do that, before we fall out, we've got to do what they do in all the films. We've got to get huge, big, and famous, and then we can have like a huge PR stunt when we all fall out, come together again, make us a ton of money. We've got to bide the time first.
Yeah.
well,
One day, something will happen. Maybe Dan will turn around and says, "Oh, you know what? I've changed my mind about Pokemon Unite. It's my favorite game ever." And then there'll be a massive fallout, and it'll stem from there. Who knows? Who knows? Or cares the dream?
well, Brandon, say one more last thing before we go.
I really did enjoy Clarkson's Farm. It was a really good TV series.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably like tons of stuff which we've watched and played and done whatever this year that we've missed off.
Yeah.
Like just some honorable mentions of maybe stuff we've seen. Like there was the Suicide Squad, which came out this year as well. That was an okay watch.
I didn't watch
James
that.
Bond, No Time to Die, which was a bit of a disappointment.
I haven't seen Dune. That's one I wanted to see.
Yeah, June was one I want to go around and see. Shang-Chi, I want to see. Again, we've missed off a lot of stuff which just came out this year, but there's only so much we can fit into a single episode of a podcast.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Also, Tiger King Series 2. Did anyone actually watch that?
I
Or
didn't
was it
see
just
Series
me?
1, and I don't intend on.
I don't intend to watch season 2.
Nah, I've been watching it and it's there. There you go. There's my review of that. Could squeeze in one more review.
Yeah, there's many things I wanted to play. I still have not had a chance to play Eastwood or Garden Story that I wanted to play that came out this year. I had other stuff, so I'll probably play it over the Christmas break and I'll let you know. So
Please do.
Awesome.
all I know is Eastwood has a long build up and I don't know how I feel about that. But oh well. But yeah. That was this is us for the year. This is our victory achieved.
And it will probably be us next year. I don't plan to replace the entire cast. That'd be odd.
I'll still be achieving victory next year.
Yes.
Hopefully we all will.
Mm-hmm. Victory achieved all over your face.
Dirty bugger. So on that note, apart from what Chris is doing, make sure you all stay safe.
Yeah. Don't get egg on your face. Or lasagna.
Big disgrace. Okay.
Something Queen lyrics.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. See you all in 2022.
Have a great time.
See
over
you
the
all in
holidays.
2021.
And a Merry Christmas. Wait.
Oh, yeah,
Wait.
that
No,
one.
wait. By the time this comes out, it won't be Christmas, will it?
No.
Merry Christmas for the year after.
I hope you had a good Christmas 2021, despite Omicron.
Have a good time over the holidays, guys. We'll see you next year.
Tatty buys by and by.
Sayonara.